Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests to have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show.
Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Tyler Saldutti on the line, and he is founder and CEO over at Prime Realty. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Tyler. So what a great topic you picked. So building wealth with commercial real estate. I have to say a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, executives follow this money show to look for, different types of investment ideas. So I think we're going to have some great content for them today. And just to get us kicked off, Tyler, so we at Mission Matters amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. Tyler, that's our mission. What mission matters to you?
Well, my mission is helping people generate transgenerational wealth through owning commercial real estate and supporting entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So in my role, I get to do both on a daily basis. And I've had multiple roles in my work life and trading commodities and different investment opportunities. And commercial real estate tends to attract family offices, family businesses, family-oriented investors that are building something for the future, and that's going to be my life's work. So any opportunity I see to help in that process and build something for people that have worked hard for their money and they're looking to set up the next generation, and all the entrepreneurs that are involved in that process, including my brokerage team, is an absolute thrill. So that's the mission.
Man, that's great. Love it. So let's see. So speaking of commercial real estate, and today's topic, so I mean, what are some of the benefits of going the path? You mentioned a moment ago that you've done commodities, you've invested in different things. Like, what are some of the benefits of buying commercial real estate?
I can give you an inclusive list. There's 4 things you can expect as an owner and investor of real estate, specifically commercial real estate, and that's it. And the first is the periodic income. So those are the rents you're going to receive from the users of real estate. The second is appreciation. You hope that, there's more people in the world and more demand for real estate, and there's a preset supply. So in the long term, you're going to see appreciation of your asset. The third is the tax benefits that real estate has that other asset classes don't. I think the main one everyone knows. It's the cost recovery or the depreciation, non-cash expenses that you get to manage and the benefit of each year. And the fourth is fees, and there's brokerage fees. There's capital raise fees. There's management fees. There's asset management fees. There's fees as a guarantor of loans. So there's a lot of fees and I call it hand-to-hand combat or day-to-day work in managing and real estate investments. The fifth that isn't, is the psychological benefit. You can own stock or bonds, and you can identify with those companies, but there truly is something about being able to put your hands on a building or a piece of land, or it's fun to talk about at a dinner party, I guess. But certainly the first 4 are it. I mean, that is the benefit of owning real estate: periodic cash flow, appreciation, tax benefits, and fees.
So you mentioned, stocks and bonds may be fun to talk about when you're, or I should say stocks specifically, right? Not necessarily bonds. May be fun to talk about at a dinner party. But, outside of that, I mean, like, and everybody listening, as you know, and the people that have been listening to this show for a long time, we always recommend you consult your own financial advisor to make sure that, you're investing for what's appropriate for you in your portfolio. But that being said, Tyler, how do you find different asset classes compare, like how commercial real estate, like long term? There's a reason why you went that route. Put it that way.
Well, I run a commercial real estate firm. Myself, my assets, my family's net worth is tied to real estate in a much more meaningful way than probably the average high net worth individual. I always say if you run a shoe store, you probably have a closet full of nice shoes. I run a real estate store. I got a portfolio of nice real estate. But I would say anybody who's too heavy in stocks, too heavy in bonds, too heavy in real estate, obviously, I think there's always a diversification and a balancing act anybody wants to play. With that said, real estate, if I had to show you a graph of the historic performance of real estate, it's always going to be right in the middle, right? Bonds are going to be low risk, conservative investment, and it's going to have conservative return, and equities or stocks are going to be, very liquid, high risk, and over the long run should have a higher return than real estate, and real estate should be somewhere in between. How you and I and anyone else in real estate outperforms the real estate market and, tries to get the stock market type returns on a hard asset such as real estate is your own personal business plan. But I would say a healthy expectation for what real estate should do in your global portfolio of investments is it should be that middle investment. It's, capital intensive, but, it's hard for a piece of property to go to zero. Unfortunately, we've seen, stock after stock go to zero, or AMC stock yesterday went up 100%. So we live in a stock picker's world right now. Real estate may or may not have that thrill of a day-to-day movement, but depending on the part of the country you're in and the property type you're in, we're seeing some pretty great things happen in the southeastern United States and in all four commercial real estate property asset classes, which is office, industrial, retail, and multifamily.
So if somebody is considering diversifying their portfolio and they're thinking about commercial real estate, I mean, what do you recommend as maybe some first steps on them getting started?
Well, most of our clients fall into real estate ownership, kind of backwards. They own a very successful business. That business needs a warehouse. They own a very successful chain of businesses, and they need real estate locations. So a lot of times real estate ownership comes as part of a business strategy. I myself own the office building we're in. That was as much a defensive business move where I didn't want to have to move if the landlord changed his appetite for what he wanted lease rates to be. So a lot of investors, that's how they start. I mean, I can name half a dozen, I call them family offices or family run real estate developers here in Jacksonville, Florida, that are first generation immigrant families that ran grocery stores and now own more shopping centers in Jacksonville than most publicly traded REITs in the market. So a lot of times, like I said, it's a business that then feeds into the real estate. Other than that, it's tough because it's capital intensive. You see a lot of groups trying to create syndications. That's I would suggest, and I'm biased, build a relationship with a knowledgeable expert commercial real estate broker before you start giving your money to a syndication. So I would say the first steps are identifying how much money you want to put into commercial real estate, talking to a commercial real estate broker, a commercial real estate lender about what the opportunities are in that price point. And you just have to do. I mean, you have to start looking at opportunities and putting offers in. So the deal sourcing is either going to be, again, a relationship with a commercial real estate investment broker, like our team here at Prime, or it's going to be letter writing. You know, a lot of people get into residential real estate investment first. They're going to move into a bigger house. Well, they don't sell their old house, they rent it out. And all of a sudden they've now started to develop those property owner and landlord skills renting out that house. And now you can write letters to every house in that neighborhood and say, hey, I'm an investor in that neighborhood, and start to scale your residential real estate company. And sometimes that's the way people get in is, now I've got a lender that's comfortable with me. I want to buy a set of apartments now. I want to buy a shopping center now. I want to buy, multi-tenant flex or warehouse space. And that's the way a lot of people get into it.
So Tyler, if somebody is listening to this and they want to learn more about Prime Realty and they want to connect with you and your team, final question, two-part question. Number one, what areas in the market or geography-wise do you typically work in? And number two, how can people follow up and connect and learn more?
Sure. We're licensed in Florida and Georgia, so those are our most active states, and the greater Jacksonville area is where we're headquartered. We have long-term relationships with investors where we'll help them acquire property nationwide. If you want to connect with us, go to primerealtyinc.com. You can call us 904-352-1400, and my email is tsaldutti@primerealtyinc.com. And let's just start a conversation. No harm in that, no charge in that.
Fantastic. And what was that phone number again? Just want to make sure. I feel like somebody was grabbing their pen or their pencil. They're like, they're writing their tablet. What was the number again?
I appreciate it. 904-352-1400.
Fantastic. Well, Tyler, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your mission and why you do what you do. I mean, I learned a lot. I hope the audience learned a lot as well. And if you are a first-time listener, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We definitely want you to come back and be a return listener, have more great companies and more great founders coming up for you. And Tyler, thanks again for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for getting me involved.